Okay, we are recording. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Wednesday team meeting. You guys know I love these. I love seeing your beautiful faces. It gets me so pumped up just seeing my girls and my guys and my kiddos, just all of you guys. So tonight we have something special planned for you. We are going to talk about attraction marketing, which I think is just going to be really huge for all of us because we all know that one thing that we do every single day is we post, right? And there's more to it than that, but just from like a wide scope of things, posting is just kind of like a huge part of our business. And if we're posting right, then business is going to come to us instead of us always having to chase other people. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about tonight. I want to start with a little bit of a story. And this is something that I heard in a Zoom earlier today. And it was just very, very powerful to me. I will give a little bit of a trigger warning because it does have some like different sensitive topics in it, but it's powerful, you guys. So basically, I just want to kind of talk about writing your story. And hold on a second. I'm so sorry, you guys. My dog is scratching on the door. Sorry to interrupt this. Like, I was about to really get into it. Hold on. Hi, babe. I started my Zoom, but my mom's in bed, so you can go to bed. Okay, I'm so sorry, you guys. If I didn't go do that, he would have scratched all night long. Okay, so this is all about writing your story. And in attraction marketing, writing your story is really, really important. And being excited and being confident and being real and raw is so important. But it's also, how are you going to tell your story? Are you going to use your failures and your fears and your rawness to fuel you, or are you going to use it to to not get you anywhere and to hold you back? And so the story is, there was a girl, and we all know this girl, but there was a girl who at 9 years old, she was raped by a family member at 9 years old. And then she continued to be raped and molested by multiple different family members in her family. And when she was 14 years old, she became pregnant. 14, you guys. And she went through with the pregnancy, but she hid it out of just fear and shame and, all the emotions you can possibly think of. And she even contemplated suicide, just like so much. And so she was 14 years old, and then she had the baby. I'm sorry. Yeah, she delivered the baby prematurely. I don't know how far along she was, but she delivered the baby prematurely, and just days later, the baby died. And so just imagine being 14, imagine now, but just imagine being 14 years old and all of this happening. Does anybody know who this young girl is who this happened to? I know somebody just commented that it was actually 7 months along that the baby was born. So I know that some of you know the story, but this 14-year-old girl that this happened to was Oprah Winfrey, who is a billionaire like 3 times over. Everyone on the Zoom knows her name, knows who she is, knows about her, but not that many of us. She came out and shared this story a couple years ago. So like some of us might know it, it's public knowledge, but it's not like she spent her whole life sharing this story. This story was not what defined her. She chose to rise from the ashes. And so I just wanted to share that to help you guys think about what's your story. So, maybe you have these things that did happen or are happening right now, like whatever they are. Maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck. Heck, maybe you're homeless, living in a homeless shelter. Maybe you are, maybe you have 3 kids and you are barely keeping food on the table, and you're eating ramen noodles for dinner every night. Maybe your husband just lost his job. Like there's so many different things. Maybe you're just full of anxiety and depression. There's so many different things, but you get to write your story. You get to choose how you're going to use those things to fuel you, to make you better, and you get to write your success story. So yeah, be real and be raw when you're sharing those things. And I'm not saying if you've had it rough, like if you have a Oprah Winfrey life, then old life, I'm not saying you need to like share every single personal little detail of your life if you're not comfortable with it. But don't let the bad things in your life not let you move forward and be successful now, because you get to write your story. And so I just wanted to share that with you because 1, when I heard it, I got goosebumps from my head to my toes. And 2, I sat there, I pulled out a piece of paper, I pulled out a pen, and I wrote down what my story is and what my story is going to be. I have a lot going on right now, just personally, nothing like Oprah, but like I'm, just lots of things, lots of balls in the air, lots of stuff happening. And so my story right now could be, I'm too busy. I have 3 babies. 2 of them are like off their rockers. One of them's teething, getting like 18 teeth at one time. Like we just have a lot going on. And so I could use busy as my excuse, or not my excuse, but my story. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep pushing forward. And my story is going to be that I'm not going to stop until you guys have all reached your goals. I still have goals too, but the top goal is for my team to be where I'm standing right now. So hopefully that just inspired you guys a little bit, and it's going to lead into what we're talking about now too, because like I said, when we first started, is a huge part of attraction marketing is sharing your story daily, consistently, every single day, finding a different way to talk about your story. So I have some notes, but I'm gonna hand it over to Rochelle and kind of let her like lead the conversation. And then Rochelle, I'll just like chime in here and there because I know you probably have like 19 pages of notes up in your head to talk about.
I love how you said in your head, because I didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
If I write things down, I will just lose my train of thought, which I do anyways. But actually, I just got to talk about something that came to my head when you just said that, because it leads right into attraction marketing. So, yesterday or the day before, I had a girl reach out to me. I'm in like a VIP pod, like Instagram pod, as well as the ones that are in our Team Bum Diggity page. And so this girl, actually she's not VIP yet, but she's on Jade Hooper's team. She's a double diamond pushing for triple. And she reached out and she's like, our goal is just to travel the country. Like, I comment on your posts every day. Like, I just love your life. And I'm just so jealous, like asking all these questions and things. And ultimately, we got to talking and really getting to know each other. And we're planning a Zoom, and I'll post it in the team page later. But we're planning a Zoom to do Tuesday night. And so, anyways, long story short, we got to talking, and she was like, before this business, I was actually living in my my mother-in-law's basement with my husband. We were eating like top ramen every single night, and we literally couldn't afford anything. And I was like, girl, I got to ask, like, I've never read that on one of your posts, because I read her posts and comment on them every day in this pod. And I was like, do you ever like talk about that? Like, you should seriously talk about that. That could be the breakthrough that you're waiting for. And she was like almost in tears, because she's like, honestly, it was so long ago and I don't really like going back there. And it just like hit me so hard that I'm like, but here's the thing. if you go back there and you talk about what you've been through and like where you started in this business, you have no idea the amount of people that you could reach that are going to be taking you to that triple diamond rank. Because it's not about that triple diamond rank, right? It's about the people that you're going to help. Like, they're going to help you get there, but you're going to be helping them along the way. And I'm like, you might have that rock star girl that's literally living in her parents' basement right now, living off of Chop Ramen, and you don't know that because she's following you and all she ever sees is like the highlight reel of your life, and she doesn't know where you came from. And so I just had to share that because I think that was like a huge breakthrough for her. And she loved it. And she was like, you're so right. Like, I have to be vulnerable like that with my followers and be able to talk about it. And you guys, if you're not somewhere where you feel like you want to share your whole life story, that's okay. There's parts of my past that nobody will ever find out about in my posts. Okay. Like, there are things that have happened in my life that's just like, it's not something I'm going to share. Now, if you're my best friend, you might know about it, but with attraction marketing, it's really about sharing your story a million different ways. Okay. So, every single day I'm talking about the freedom of time that we have to be able to travel the country. And the reason why I do that is because I have a lot of people that are following me, that I have searched for and found that are also wanting to live this life, or maybe they're travel bloggers, or maybe they're, people already living this life. I met a girl the other day in one of the campgrounds, and she's just like a stay-at-trailer mom. What is it? Like a stay-at-home mom? I don't know. Anyway, they're full-time, and her husband is a sales guy. And so he is able to work out of his, anywhere, but he's not in like MLM or anything. And she's like, I just kind of go crazy, like watching the 3 kids all day. And like, he has these schedules where he works, and I just like, I don't get to do anything for myself. And I'm like, I always kind of wrote off people who were already full-time traveling as people who already did MLMs for some stupid reason. I don't know why I did that. But I've got like several travel bloggers who are not making money doing what they're doing, like have personally told me, like they have like 17,000 followers, and they're like, well, I'm making like 5% on like if somebody buys the sheets that I got sent from me for free. Like, do you guys see what I'm saying? Yet they're like professional attraction marketing people. And I'm like, if you could just see the potential in a product and selling a product instead of like your what's the word? Like advertising for all these separate products and all these different things. So anyway, sorry. My point is that, you really want to reach the right audience with what your story is. So if you're a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids, or you're a twin mom like Shelby is, like she's going to be pinpointing, and it's really important that I say something about this too. You're not targeting anybody, okay? This is really important. You're not like profiling or targeting them or like trying to make them join your business like based on that. You're building relationships, okay? So that should be your first step here with attraction marketing, is building relationships with people that you genuinely want to have friendships with, you guys. Like, I can't tell you how many times people reach out to me with nothing about my business, but they're just like, I just love your daughter, or I just love like her bows, or like whatever it is. And we have a genuine conversation before we start talking about the business. Or sometimes I message them about the business and they say they've been interested in it. You guys know what I'm saying? So like, just make sure that your intentions are pure, and you're not just like trying to like friend a bunch of people just to get them on your team because they would be amazing and you need them. This is for them. Okay. So that's just a little tidbit on like you making sure that you're following the right people that you just want to build those relationships with. So I encourage you to write down your 5 things that are, if you guys have a pen and paper, or if you don't, get one out. Not if you're driving though, but like write down the 5 things that are really important to you on your social media feed. So like for me, it's my family, traveling, coffee. I'm like trying to think about Jesus, obviously. And probably like wine. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, like the things that you just love to talk about all the time, the things that you love, take the business out of it. Okay. Take the business out of it. What do you love? Yetis. Shalina says Yetis. Yep. This is so true. I have a lot. I actually have a lot. I have more than 5. We call it the 5 pillars. I have more than 5. And sometimes I like need to reel it in a little bit, because if you do too much, if you like If you dabble in like way too much stuff, then it's just a little bit overwhelming. So pick your 5. Pick your 5 pillars that you're going to really focus your Instagram on, okay? And so you want to be marketing, and Shelves, I'll let you talk in just a second. Sorry. You want to be marketing yourself, not the products, not the business. Now, through your posts, you will hear about the products and the business, but it's going to be a very nonchalant way of sparking curiosity. And this is a skill, guys. This is a skill that you learn. This isn't something that you're going to get off this Zoom and be like, I'm a professional poster overnight. Like, I can't tell you how many people that join my team are like, yeah, but I'm not that good at like what you do. And I'm like, you should see my time hop sometimes. Like, neither was I. But you just learn. You learn how to do it as you go along. And that's kind of why I created these Instagram pods for you guys too. So that as you're commenting and liking on other successful people in this team, you're seeing like, oh, wow, like I see her post. I like those posts. I like that style. I like this. I like that. Like, that reminds me of this or whatever. Like, and I had a conversation with Jess today. We were talking about getting inspired. Like, you guys, we're not inspired 24/7 all the time. Like, our posts, like, we'll do one good post a day. And there are times where I will sit there and seriously be like, what in the world do I want to say? Like, what do I want to say? And that's when I'll have to go do some self-development or go, watch something that I know is going to get me inspired, or talk to Shelby and Ashley or whatever it may be, and get inspired and then write the post. So like, we don't just like pull these out of our butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to like get inspired about it. And there are some days where I still can't even get inspired, and I'll go back through my notes. You guys, I have like thousands of notes. It's been 3 years. I have and even longer for Shelves. So like, I'll just go through thousands of notes, and I'll just type like opportunity in the search bar, and I'll just go through them. And I'll just be like, oh, this one's like perfect. And then I'll tweak it because I'll get inspiration from it from like 2 years ago. And then I'll say a story about what I was doing 2 years ago and how thankful I am for here. So again, that might not apply to you right now if you're newer in the business, but my point is telling stories and not selling products or the opportunity. You're telling the story about yourself, which allows people to come to you and be curious. So Shelves, I'll let you take it away for a little bit.
Okay, I have so much to say. Just some stuff to reiterate what you just said. One of them is like about your brand. So who are you? What is your brand? And using those 5 pillars. And so think of those 5 general things, and that's what your posts should always be about, right? Not always, but like that's what your post should really be about for the most part. And sharing those stories that involve those things. But one thing that I've actually been doing with some of my teammates, so a little light bulb went off and I thought I'd share it with you guys, is as far as who to follow so that you're following people that you have similar interests with and that will enjoy your posts. If you're posting about these 5 things, then you want to find people that also like those 5 things. Well, so what I've been doing with my girls is saying, what are those 5 things that brand you? What are those 5 things that you love that are you, that make you you? And they tell me, I like to travel, I like food, I love my babies, I love God, and I love nature or whatever. I might have said nature twice. I don't know, but you guys get the idea. There's 5 things that you love, that's your brand. So then, as far as following people, let's just say on Instagram, because that's where you follow people, instead of just typing in the search bar nature or whatever, hashtag nature, you're going to get, that's so general. So what I've been doing is saying, what are the 5 things that make your brand? And now let's drill in on it. So you love food. What restaurant would you just like die to go to? You know, like if you're a true foodie, then you know what that restaurant is that like in like New York City that you would just like make a reservation in a heartbeat if you could. Or if one of your pillars is a twin mom. We have a lot of twin moms on here because I'm a twin mom and I love twin moms. And that's one of my 5 pillars. So instead of just like hashtag twin mom, no, like I don't go there because that's where everybody goes. I want to go find the twin moms that that don't already have 15 thousand It Works distributors in their newsfeed. So instead of going to like hashtag twin mom, I'm telling them to think of like, what's like a very specific like twin boutique, or something that is very centered around twins. Maybe even like a blogger who also has twins. Go to that blogger's page, find a cute picture with her and her twins, and then follow those people. So basically this was like kind of, I hope I'm even making sense here, but taking those 5 like general things that make your brand what they are, but then drilling down on those things to something less generic and then following those people. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, cool. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which this was in my notes and Rochelle said it, as far as inspiration, you have to use self-development for fresh inspiration. Like you can go look at other people's posts all day long, but if you really want your posts to be like super genuine, use that self-development. And the quote that I love is, if you want to inspire, which that's what your posts are supposed to be doing, is inspiring people to be better, inspiring people to do better, inspiring people to want to, making people curious about what you're doing. Like you want to be inspirational in your posts, whether it's talking about where you were then and then now. That's inspirational, you guys. But if you want to inspire others, you have to get inspired. So if you're not feeling inspired, you need to go do some self-development. Another tip that I love is, and this kind of skirts around the self-development, so please don't think like, okay, Shelby just said I don't have to do self-development anymore. But if you're just feeling like, I am so uninspired right now, I can't think of anything for this post, I went and looked at these 3 leaders that I love and like, I'm just not feeling it. One thing that I love to do is go to Pinterest and search Boss Babe quotes. And like everybody go right now, get out your phone, go to Pinterest, type in Boss Babe quotes. And so the first one that comes up for me is, the key to success is to start before you are ready. Boom. That's like, you can write so much around that. And all I had to do was type in 3 words and then pull up the first quote that comes up. So then what I do is, Morgan said, I think I'm the only one who doesn't have Pinterest. Go get it, because this is so helpful. But take that quote, and sometimes what I do, and I know Rochelle does the same thing and many others do it as well, is like start your post with the quote. And then like elaborate on it by using a personal story or anecdote or whatever, like that's a really simple way to quickly get inspired. So just a little fun tip for you. And then I feel like I had one other thing that I wanted to add in. I can't think of it. So I'm just going to kind of go into some of the notes that I have, Rochelle, unless you were like, oh, I just remembered something. No? Okay. So these are just some notes that I quickly wrote down about like attraction marketing. What is it? How do we do it? So the first thing is, people don't care about you. They care about themselves. Like, we're selfish, right? Aren't we just like the most selfish things ever? We are. So, it's so important to be engaging with people and building relationships with them and making them feel like they are important. And not just like Rochelle was saying, not an act, not like your kid's so cute. Like, no, like find something that you truly love about them and talk about it with them. Make them feel important. Make them feel like number one, and when you do that, they're going to feel good. Social media, we all know it's not face-to-face. So you're never going to have that like true face-to-face interaction. So you need to go above and beyond and out of your way to make them feel special. And sometimes it's as simple as once a week. And I'm not saying like I write down like, Becca, I'm going to message her once a week and tell her daughter's cute. No, like when I see her, I'm going to say it, or I'm going to genuinely find something that day that I feel about her post. And when she sees that consistently over and over, not necessarily, don't take consistent as saying the same thing over and over. What I mean is consistently interacting with them, it turns into a social media relationship. Like you are now friends because you speak to each other just like you would talk to a real friend in real life. You're doing it online to this person. So now you guys are online friends. You have built this relationship, and people buy you before they buy a product. So if you can interact and build relationships with people, they're going to see your posts. And if you're doing the right thing, posting, which we're going to get into a little bit more, then they're going to come to you. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, they're not going to say it out loud or in their head, but like in their heart, they feel it. They're like, I love Rochelle. I love her daughter. I feel like I know her. I watch her coffee story every morning. She's hilarious. She's cute. Her daughter's adorable. Brian never has his shirt on. Like, I love this girl. I love their family, right? That's what everybody thinks, right? It's just me? Okay. Well, so that they feel like they know you. And so when they see Rochelle talking about how, like, where she came from and where she is now, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, is this for real? And then they're going to keep watching her, and her posts are going to keep inspiring. Okay. So then they're going to come to Rochelle and say, girl, I don't even know what you're doing, but I want to do it. So building relationships it's such a crucial part of attraction marketing. You could have the best posts all day, every day, but if you're not doing all of these things that I'm going to go over, then it doesn't matter. Posting is not everything. It's a lot, but it's not all. Okay, so number 2 is growth. And this is growth within your network. And we preach this to you guys. I start telling my newbies about this like on day 1. We all kind of start with a warm market. Some are bigger than others. Some have a very, very small warm market, but that doesn't matter, because from day 1, we start growing our network. We start finding people based on those things I was talking to you about, those 5 pillars, based on our interests. We follow them. They start watching us. They follow us back because they see that we have similar things. But you always have to be adding people to your network, and you always have to be planting seeds with these people. So a lot of people within It Works, within the network marketing industry, they combine attraction marketing, which is people coming to you, and messaging, which is okay. That's what I do. Like, I still message people because I consider messaging people planting seeds. So when I go message 100 people about me needing some new product models and would love to use them. Or if I'm asking people about the opportunity right now, I'm using that, do you know anyone in your area who might be interested script? All I'm doing, I don't even care if they respond. I am planting a seed in their head. Even if in their mind they think, no, I'm not even going to respond to her because I'm busy and I don't have time. I just planted a seed in their head. So I never worry about the no's. I never worry about being left on red because I know I planted a seed. And that is what attraction marketing is all about: planting the seeds, growing the network. So you always have to be growing your network. Always. Never stop. Never skip a day. I'm pretty sure Rochelle said it too, not too long ago, where she said, never skip self-development. And she's like, and on my really bad days where I just like don't want to do anything, which is very rare for Rochelle, but like everyone has just bad days. I don't want to do anything. Or maybe she like, okay, let's use her migraines, for example. She gets migraines sometimes and it's hard for her to even look at a screen. She will still follow. Like, she never goes a day without following people. And that's because it's, one, really easy to do, like follow. Like, who can't do that? But 2, because it's so important. It is so important, you guys. And I will just share this tip. Actually, Rochelle, or I don't see Shalina, but is it okay if I share the tip about her hubby? I don't want her to be like embarrassed. Okay.
Yeah, she's on.
Okay.
She's on. But you can share it, yeah.
Okay, so a Zoom
She
that
said
we
yes.
did earlier this week, Rochelle shared with us that Shalina, Double Diamond on our team, she's a brand new mama. She has a sweet little baby boy named Ben, and she has trained her hubby, partner, significant other, fiance, I don't know what he is. He's someone special to Shalina. She has trained him that in his spare time, he logs into her Instagram and follows for her. Is that not genius? And is he not amazing? Like, let's just round of applause for
And
Shalina.
and he's messaging. She taught him how to message and like check their profile and make sure that it's not a Knitworks distributor or somebody on her team. Because I have had B try to do this like in the past, and like he'll just start going. But like this was like when we first had Huntley. I remember he tried helping me with this, and he would like message my team like diamonds on it. I'm like, B, like you've heard me talk about them. And he's like, well, whoops. And so I think he was just trying to get out of messaging on it.
And was like, want to join our team?
Yeah, no.
I'm kidding.
But what's
That's
funny is if you guys share that story, of Shalina and her hubby doing it, because I told B, I'm like, hey, Shalina's having Kyle do this. Now he's doing it. Because he's like, oh, Kyle's doing it? Oh, sweet. Like, I'm going to do it now, too. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So anyway, share this story. Tell them that other hubbies are doing it, and they'll want to help out, too.
Yeah, and a lot of times hubbies ask, like, what can I do to help you? And you're like, just go away. Well, no, now you can be like, I know something you can do. Log into my Instagram right now. I forget what I was even talking about. I know I was talking about growth and adding to your network, but following so important. Okay, so let's just move on from there. You guys get it. So engaging, building that relationship, and then growing to your network. These are huge for attraction marketing. So the third thing is posting. And this is just like, this is the fun part, you know, because you get to be you get to share your story, you get to be excited, you get to just share it all. And so I'm going to let Rochelle talk for a little while about her posting, but before I do, I just want to share something with you guys that is like, it's just been on my heart for like a couple days now. So there's a girl in It Works, a top income earner in It Works, who went ambassador a few months ago. And now she's, once you go ambassador, you get to start all over again, and build back through the ranks again and continue to make more and more money, right? Well, this girl, she is now a diamond on her 2.0 chart. And so I was like, okay, I'm all about following the leaders, you know, especially the ones that like got here, they're here for a reason. So I was like, what I'm going to do is just kind of like stalk her. And like, when she posts, I'm posting. When she puts a story up, I'm putting a story up. You know, and I never like was stealing her post word for word, because I don't want to. Like, I want to tell my own, you know, my own story and use my own words. But I just wanted to do what she was doing, basically. Well, she is fantastic at attraction marketing, but she also has a very, very blogger style to her posts, meaning her posts are a little bit longer. She is very eloquent with her words and wording. She's a really good writer, I should say. And I'm not, you guys. Like, I literally ask Rochelle and Ashley for scripts, like new scripts, not just stuff that we use all the time, but like, I'll be like, hey guys, I know what I want to say. This is what I want to say, but like, can you tweak it for me to sound like someone who graduated from like 8th grade, please? Because I'm just not like a really gifted writer, or at least maybe that's like a self-limiting belief on my own, but like, I just don't feel like I'm super eloquent with my writing. And so, so basically I was trying to mimic this ambassador, and I was struggling because I was like, oh, my posts just like don't even kind of compare to hers. Like, I have a great story, but I just can't share it like she does. And I had this epiphany that was like, she is special for her own reasons. And like, I don't have to have blogger style posts to make people interested in my business and in who I am and in what I do. So I just wanted to share this because a lot of times, I thought this too, attraction marketing, you had to make your posts very attractive in the sense that they were like well written and eloquent and yada blogger style. And that's not what attraction marketing is. That's not, your posts don't have to be these like super, I keep using the word eloquent, but I don't know how else to describe it. Are you guys following me? Like, you don't have to have this beautifully written post for people to be interested in what you're doing. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to someone who does do a very good job with their beautiful post. So go ahead, Rochelle, take it away for a little while on.
Oh, who are you talking about?
You.
Not me.
Yes, you.
So it's something that I've had to learn though, because I used to be the girl that actually copied anybody and everybody that I could because I didn't feel that I had a story and I didn't feel that I had anything to say. And that just came with confidence. That came with me developing a story, finding a story, and really digging deep. And what's funny is a lot of you know a little bit of my story, which like not the part that I talk about a lot, the part that I don't talk about a lot, which is that my little brother is in prison, right? Like I don't talk about that ever, okay? And I opened up about it on a Zoom a little while ago. And the reason, you guys, there's a point to this. The reason why I'm talking about it is because somebody reached out to me that is on our team. I'm not going to say who, but my story about my little brother being in prison and how he got into prison, like massively hit home with her. And it had somebody in her life had the same exact thing happen. And she had never really met anybody that had this happen to her. And it was like, it really showed me, like the lesson that I learned there was that for the longest time, I thought I didn't have a story. And that's just one little part about my life, right? Like it was a really big part about our life and it still is, but it's just one little thing that I didn't want to talk about or that I didn't want to share because I truly didn't feel that it would really resonate with anybody. Like who else's brother is in prison for something that, you guys know what I'm saying. My point is, you guys have a story. You have a story. You just don't feel like it's relevant because to you, it's already happened. It's already come and gone. And it's just not that big of a deal. But to the person who is reading your posts, who is like, wow, that's happened to me. That is the person that you are writing to. Okay. So that's really important that you guys understand this because, not all of your posts need to be super heavy. Not all of your posts need to be like, oh, I used to live paycheck to paycheck and we were standing in food lines. Like not all of your posts need to be like that, you guys. But it's very important that you develop a story or you start developing a story now. So, if you're a hairdresser, maybe you're going to talk about how you already run your own business and you already owned your own time and you already got to have like that freedom of time but you wanted a little bit extra. You wanted extra to be able to take that vacation or to close your books for a month and go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a story, but you just don't feel like it's one of them. And so I think that's really important. It goes hand in hand with your audience of like who you're talking to and what you want to say. Because a lot of the times we get caught up in just getting up an opportunity post instead of like really describing how we got here or where we want to go. And that's the biggest thing is you're like, but I'm not where you're at, Rochelle. Like I'm not a prez. So like, what am I supposed to, I'm not traveling the country. What am I supposed to talk about? I can't tell you how many newbies come to me and they're like, yeah, but like, what do I talk about? Like, I don't have your life. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't either. I didn't have this life either. And just because you see me talking about it now, I talk about where we came from. I talk about like B's biggest paycheck being $3,000 working for his parents. Like he like had the freedom to like take off and do whatever he wanted to do. But like $3,000 a month, that might be a lot to some. But for him, that was never enough to like make ends meet. It was for him by himself, but you guys know what I'm saying. Now, he hated what he did. He worked all the time, but because his parents owned the company, like Brian has his own story too. Right. And so I think a lot of the times I hear him tell his story all the time. And it's kind of funny because he doesn't do social media. Well, he does, but not really about the business. But when we're like in campgrounds, like I can't tell you how many times I hear B tell his story. He's like, I used to do hardwood floors. My wife fully retired me. Like we do this now. And he's talking to like older couples or other people who are full-time or whatever. And my point is that like, even though he's not posting, he's still telling his story every single day. And guys who have been contractors in the past or like who are contractors, they're sitting here and they're like, dang, like, what do you guys do? Like, I'm kind of curious now. And B doesn't just always say like, I'm the one who retired him, because he's done a lot. Here's the thing. I would not be Prez right now if it wasn't for Brian Cripps. That's all I have to say. Okay. So he supports me wholeheartedly. Just because he doesn't get behind and message until now, doesn't mean that he didn't help me get to where I'm at. And so, he has, he has a story too. And I think that's important for you guys to understand, is like, I'm just giving you examples. Every single person has a story. We had the opportunity, and I'll wrap this up in a second, but I just feel like this is a topic that needs a lot of examples. So, we had the opportunity to go see where Brian's parents grew up, like their houses. We got to see where they got married. Like we're here in, we're a couple hours away now, but anyways, we got to see like where they grew up and everything. And it was so humbling and awesome to see where they grew up in. Like his mom lived in like the teeniest, tiniest little house. It was such a cute little like brick house. But it was like in a crappy neighborhood. It may not have been crappy back then, but you guys know what it was just like, when you look at their house now, if you've been there, like I'm pretty sure maybe just a couple of the girls have been there. Caitlin, if you look at their house now, it's like a 5,000 square foot house, like gorgeous views, like of Mount Hood. Like they built a company from the ground up in Oregon, and we got to see where they came from. That's their story. His dad came from a trailer park that was like a couple miles away, and that trailer is no longer there, but the trailer park is still there. And every single trailer that was still in there, like mobile homes, was like knocked down and like caved in. And like, that's where his dad grew up. And it was so cool to see his story and where he came from and what he made of himself. So you guys might be in the middle of that story. You might be in the beginning of your story. But what you need to remember is where you're going. And so back to what Shelby was talking about in the beginning, like what are you telling yourself that your story is? Because you have something to say. And sometimes we spend too much time on it, and sometimes we don't spend enough time on it. But I think the main thing that you guys need to understand is just like, when you feel inspired, there are times where I'm up until 4 a.m. writing things that I'm thinking of. Like literally I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm thankful for. I'm just going to write this down in my notes. I'm just going to write this down on my phone. And then I'll go back through when I don't feel inspired and be like, I remember when that popped into my head. I'm going to make a post about that. So it's definitely a learning curve. It's definitely something that you're not going to master overnight. But one thing that I do also want to go over really quickly, enough about stories, is the picture quality. Now, I'm not saying that the picture needs to be full face makeup, hair done, dressed to the nines, okay? But the picture quality needs to be good, okay? So like you can have a bare face, a baby on your hip, and poop on your shirt, okay? Mom life. But it needs to be a good quality picture, okay? So not super blurry, not super dark. Make sure that you have the right apps to brighten your pictures. And I know that this seems tedious, but it's like proven. I almost said clinically proven. It's probably not clinically proven. It's proven that if you see a bright, crisp, clean image, you're automatically drawn to it. Like it doesn't matter what it's a picture of. You guys are automatically drawn to it because you're like, wow, that's a beautiful picture. Like I just want to like read what she has to say. It's the silliest thing, but it's true. We're drawn to like crisp, clean pictures. So make sure that is something that is very important to you. My sister-in-law, I was getting hooked up with she got her first 4 customers in like less than 3 days in shopping spree. Woo woo. Anyway, so I was getting her hooked up with a preset because I was like, I'm going to buy you a preset if you get your, anyways, it was $3.95, you guys. Spoiler alert. It was $3, but it's like seriously, so it's a crisp, clean image. I got it off of, Etsy. Okay. $3.95. Go get one. Download the app called Adobe Lightroom, and it will literally, in the Etsy email with the downloaded file, it will literally explain exactly how to download it. It's very simple. It looks really complex, but it's very simple if you follow the directions. Get a preset. Everybody is using presets. Everybody and their mother is using presets. Okay. Trust me when I say this. And It's the silliest thing, but people will follow you based on your crisp, clean images. Okay. So if you're doing all the work, and we say this all the time, not times, there's 4 things that go into our business. Now we have like daily 6 listen things, but there's 4 things that go into our business, and all 4 of them work simultaneously, I think, together. So when you go and follow people, they're going to come look at your page. If you do not capture their attention within your first 9 photos, okay, which is 3 rows of photos, right? If you do not capture them with crisp, clean images, they are not going to follow you back, because they're not going to take the time to go click on a photo that's really dark and blurry and like read it. They're just not. Ask yourself if you're going to, right? You're not. But if it's like clean, crisp, sorry, I can't check the chats right now, guys. I'll do it in just a second. But I just get too distracted. So that is, make sure that your first 9 photos have your 5 pillars in it and that they're crisp, clean photos. Okay. And then the other, so that's your following, and then they're going to go to your page and they're going to decide if they want to follow you. Then based on the posts that are to come and the stories that you're doing each day on your Instagram, they're going to decide if they want to keep following you. The content that you're creating, the story that you're telling, the pictures that you're posting is determining whether or not they're going to keep following you. Okay, so those are 3 things. You guys following along okay? The 4th thing, interaction. The 4th, like I have like, what is it? The 4th thing is interaction on social media. If you are not interacting with others, like the people that you're wanting to follow, like the people that you're wanting to create this, actually it's interacting and messaging, but I'm getting there. If you're not interacting with the people that you're wanting to build these relationships with, if you're not doing all 4 of them, then they're not going to work. Okay, so this might be a little bit overwhelming, but just trust me, trust the process. If you're coming to me, and I'm not saying anybody is, but if you're coming to me saying like, okay, well, I'm messaging like a million people and nobody is responding. What are the quality of your posts? What are the story that you're telling? What stories are you putting on your Instagram? Is it like spam of it works constantly? Is it like nothing about your life? Is it, do you guys know what I'm saying? Like, because that has something to do with it. When you get a message from somebody that you don't know, what do? You go look at their page. If it doesn't capture your attention, you're not going to start following them, right? So make sure that you guys are doing all 4 of these things in conjunction. And this isn't going to take you guys all day. Okay, realistically, if you're sitting down and taking longer than 15 minutes to get up a post, move on, move along. If you're taking longer than 15 minutes, it's a waste of your time right now. I'm not saying to not post that day, but what I'm saying is if you're like, I've been there where you're like, oh, okay, like I'm looking at this picture, like, what do I want to say? Like, I can't find anything. This isn't working. Like, I don't want to get that up. And sometimes I'll even get it up and I'll be like, yep, that's not what I wanted to say. I'm going to take it down. You guys know what I'm saying? So like, this is not income producing. A post is not income producing. Posting and attraction marketing is very important for getting people to continue to follow you and getting people to continue to come to you and getting people to continually want to watch what you have to do. But you should not be spending longer than 15 minutes on a post because it's just a waste of your time. Take a second, step back, go turn on self-development, send out 50 messages and come back to the post that you want to do or go back to your notes. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So let me, Shelbs, do you have anything you want to add while I just kind of check the chats real quick?
Yeah, the last thing that I wanted to, what time is it? Okay, we're doing really good. We got just a couple minutes left, but the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys is consistency. And I love this term, and I shared it on Sunday with a couple of girls, but being relentlessly consistent. And when you add that word before consistency, it makes it to me just so much more like relentless. Like that word is powerful, right? And you have to be so relentlessly consistent with your posts every single day. Share your story every single day. Find different ways to share your story. So it doesn't have to be the same thing every single day. Like, I started this business for $500 just to help pay the bills, and now this, and that, and say that same thing every day, every single day. No, like, find different ways to share that same exact information and be relentless about it, consistent, or relentlessly consistent about sharing the opportunity because of what it's done for you. And again, even if you don't have this huge elaborate story yet, be relentlessly consistent about talking about what this business is going to do for you. So what were your goals? What did you intend to do when you started this business? Everybody started this business for a reason. So talk about that reason. Talk about what this business is going to do for you. If you're a newbie, talk about how you're going to earn that $10,000 bonus by Christmas time. Talk about what that, and then go a step further and talk about what that bonus is going to do for you. Because if you can hit on a few key things that it's going to do for you, one of those things, or maybe all of those things, will relate to somebody else, and they're going to be like, wow, Jessica is going to earn a $10,000 bonus by Christmas. She's going to be able to pay off all her credit card debt from buying all those gifts for her family. She's going to be able to take everyone on a vacation for spring break in March, and she's going to be able to give back $500 to her church or something like that. Like, they're going to see those three things and they're going to be like, I want to do those three things. And so instead of just being like, I'm going to earn a $10,000 bonus by December, yay, you're going to be like, I'm going to earn this by December, and I'm going to do this, this, and this. And they're going to be like, I want to do this, this, and this. For me personally, you guys, I saw a post of a girl who just earned a $10,000 bonus. And I don't even know if she did say what she was going to do with the money. All I knew I had a need for more money. I saw that she had just earned $10,000, and all I did was like it. It was a seed planted in my head. So just be relentlessly consistent about planting those seeds in others' heads. And I heard this too in a Zoom, and I really liked it. So I wanted to share it with you guys, and then it'll be the last thing that I say. And then, Rochelle, if you have anything else before we wrap up. But likes on your post do not equal dollar signs. The way we make money in this business is by getting distributors and loyal customers in eSuite. Okay? So if you're doing all these things that we just said and you're getting 3 likes on your post, that does not mean that you're not doing a good job. Judge your job or your success, or success isn't the right word, but judge whether you're doing this right by the names that are going in eSuite, not by the amount of likes on your post. And I'm going to drop the mic. And that's it. Rochelle, do you have anything else?
I was just going to say that was incredible, because it's so true, you guys. I think Brian, Shelby, and like Brian's mom liked my post forever. And now guess who liked my post? My teammates. Mm-hmm. You guys, people don't know like my 400 likes. That's my teammates. Like, literally all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, I might have a few stragglers here or there, my loyal customers, but like, seriously, it just is going to take time. Do not base it off of that. So I love that. But the last thing that I was going to end on really quick, so that we both drop the mic here, is that I will never forget a girl joined my team she based it off of my post. So she told her husband, she was like, okay, so if this girl posts again tonight, like if she posts again tonight, I'm going to join her team. Like, I just need a sign. Like, I'm going to join her team. Guess what? I posted that night and she joined. And there are so many of you that say to me, like, I'm afraid that I'm like saying the same thing over and over again. Like, I'm afraid that I'm bothering people. First, let's just like completely throw this one away. Like you're okay. I almost just said you're not that special. How rude. How I literally just almost said you're not that special. That is not what I meant. What I am saying and what I mean by this is that not every single person is watching your posts every single time. Okay? So don't think to yourself like, well, like they're getting so annoyed because I'm posting every day. They're not seeing every single one of your posts. You are, because you're the one posting them. But there are people on your feed that may only see your post once in a week. Okay? That's not what you're just not understanding that. So that's what I meant by you're not that special, not in a mean way. But that's my point, is just like, make sure that you know that you still need to be consistent, and there are going to, that goes for stories too. Shauna, thank you. Like I say the same thing on my stories every dang day, y'all. Every single day I say the same thing on my stories. And guess what? It is still signing me at least 15 loyal customers a month from getting on and talking about my coffee. Every single day. Every single day. I get annoyed of it. I get bored with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to like stop talking about your stinking coffee. But guess what? It works, you guys. And people want to know how different you're making it today, or what you're doing, or that you have a Keurig and you still don't use it. Like, like, I don't know if you guys saw my story this morning, but it was a friggin' wreck. But seriously, like that is what people like. And you know how many messages I got today that people are like, oh my gosh, mom life, like you didn't even notice it until you said it out loud. Like seriously, I had a Keurig in the room and I brewed water in the Keurig and had a Keurig pod and didn't use the Keurig to make my coffee. Anyways, it's not important. What's important is that every single day I'm talking about it. Okay. So stop worrying about who is watching your stories and just do you. Just do you. Because I'm willing to bet you that here's the thing. You're thinking you're annoying them, and I promise I'm wrapping this up. You're thinking you're annoying them, but really what they're doing is sitting there like, man, she's so consistent. Like she must be doing really well, because like she just like keeps posting about this and like keeps going, and they're like traveling, and they're like, she's like paying off debt, and she like paid for her husband's and her rings, or like whatever, or she got a $10,000 bonus. Like, stop those self-limiting beliefs that you're annoying people and start understanding that you're inspiring people. Start believing that you're an inspiring person. Start opening up that door, because I bet you if you do, like I can't tell you how many people come to me and I'll make a post that's like the same flipping story, the same flipping thing that I have done the last 3 years, and somebody's like, wow, I really needed to hear what you said today. And I'm like, what? Like I say that every day. But they needed to hear it that day. So stop the like negative self-talk and all that. That wasn't really a mic drop, you guys, but
no, thank you. Yay. Oh my gosh, you guys, this was so good. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So thank you guys for